Hello everyone and welcome to this course on rural agriculture work experience. We are on module number 4 which is mushroom cultivation. Let us now start the session. Module objectives, contents, introduction, history of mushrooms, types of mushrooms, India's standing, nutrients, straw sterilization, cultivation of oyster mushrooms, cultivation of white button mushrooms, diseases and pest management, and yield. Introduction. The word mushroom is likely derived from the French word mousse meaning moss. It is a fungus that usually has a short stem and a round top. It is a plant without chlorophyll. A mushroom develops in two stages, vegetative phase and fruiting phase. Agaricus bisporus is an edible mushroom native to the grasslands of Europe and North America. It has two color states while immature, which is white and brown, both of which have various names with additional names from the mature state. Pleurotus ostratus was initiated on experimental basis in Germany by Flack during the year 1917 on tree stumps and wood logs. Growing technology was perfected in USA by Bloch, Sau and Howe. Dear trainees, please have a look at this picture to understand what different parts of a mushroom are called. History of mushrooms. Mushrooms were thought to be special and supernatural in origin 4600 years ago. Egyptians believed mushrooms to be plants of immortality. Chinese and Japanese have utilized mushrooms for medicinal purposes for thousands of years. Lentinus idodes, shiitake, was originally cultured in China about 800 years ago. Auricularia polytricha, ear fungus, was first cultivated in ancient China around 300 to 200 BC. Cultivation of edible mushrooms in India is of recent origin, though methods of cultivation for some were known for many years. In 1886, some specimens of mushrooms were grown by N. W. Newton and exhibited at the annual show of Agriculture, Horticulture Society of India. India's standing 1908, a thorough search of edible mushroom was initiated by Sir David Payne. 1921, Bose was successful in culturing two agarics on sterilized dung medium, details of which were published in the Indian Science Congress held at Nagpur during 1926. 1939 to 45, attempts on experimental cultivation of paddy straw mushroom was first undertaken by the Department of Agriculture, Madras. 1943, Thomas et al. Gave the details of cultivation of paddy straw mushroom in Madras. 1964, cultivation of Agaricus bisporus on experimental basis was started by CSIR and state government at Srinagar in Jammu and Kashmir. The total mushroom production in India is approximately 0.13 million tons. Mushroom industry in India has registered an average growth rate of 4.3% per annum. The spawn demand in India is estimated about 8,000 to 10,000 tons per annum. Punjab is the leading mushroom growing state contributing to 50% of the total production. Types of mushrooms. Different types of mushrooms are reishi mushroom, shiitake mushroom, caterpillar mushroom, milky mushroom, oyster mushroom, button mushroom, king of oyster mushroom, and saja mushroom. Nutrients. White oyster mushrooms are low in calories and sugar. They are also high in protein and vitamin D and are a source of vitamin B12. 1 cup or 96 grams of whole white mushrooms provides 21 calories, 3 grams carbs, 1 gram fiber, 3 grams protein, 0 grams fat, 33% of the daily value of vitamin D, 16% of the daily value of selenium, 12% of the daily value of phosphorus, and 4% of the daily value of folate. Dear trainees, please have a look at this table to understand the nutrient content in white oyster mushroom. Straw sterilization. Different methods of straw sterilization are boiling method, chemical method, and steam pasteurization. Cultivation of oyster mushrooms. Oyster mushrooms, also known as dingri or Japanese mushrooms, have the capability of breaking down cellulose and lignin bearing materials. Its cultivation is easy and its cost of production is also low. Like all fleshy fruits and vegetables, mushrooms are highly perishable due to their high moisture content and are delicate in nature. Classification. Scientific name Pleurotus ostratus. Common name oyster mushroom. Kingdom fungi. Phylum Basidiomycota. Class Agaricomycetes. Order Agaricales. Family Pleuroticae. Genus Pleurotus. Climatic requirement. Oyster mushrooms can be grown within a temperature range of 16 degrees Celsius to 30 degrees Celsius for optimum growth. The favorable growing seasons are during March April to September October in the hills and September October to March April in the plains. Material requirements: paddy straw, perforated ply bags, mushroom spawn, room with bamboo racks, equipment like chaff cutter and boiling drum, and buckets and sprayers. The process includes hot water treatment, chemical sterilization, spawning or broadcasting method, spawning or layering method, dipping method, and bag preparation. Dear trainees, these are some pictures of ready bags after the cultivation of oyster mushrooms is completed. Cultivation of oyster mushrooms, production hut, rake method, hanging method, growing oyster mushroom. Cultivation of button mushrooms, compost preparation, long day method requirements, wheat straw or rice straw 1000 kg, urea 15 kg, MOP 10 kg, wheat barn 50 kg, and gypsum 100 kg. Procedure: dip the straw in water completely. Dipping must be done by feet so that each part of the straw absorbs water. Then take out the straw and spread it on a tilted surface to remove excess water. After 32 to 36 hours of soaking, mix all the other stuff like wheat barn, gypsum, etc. After 12 to 16 hours of mixing everything, we need to make a heap with dimensions of 1.15 meter into 1.15 meter into 1.5 meter. Opening and mixing and closing of heap must be done every seventh day. This whole process of preparing compost is completed in 21 days. After 21 days, spawn is mixed into the compost. Bag preparation. The process of mixing spawn with compost is called spawning. The different methods followed for spawning are given below. Spot spawning. Lumps of spawn are planted in 5 centimeter deep holes made in the compost at a distance of 20 to 25 centimeter. The holes are later covered with compost. Surface spawning. The spawn is evenly spread on the top layer of the compost and then mixed to a depth of 3 to 5 centimeter. The top portion is covered with a thin layer of compost. Layer spawning. About 3 to 4 layers of spawn mixed with compost are prepared, which are then again covered with a thin layer of compost like in surface spawning. The spawn is mixed through the whole mass of compost at the rate of 7.5 ml per kg compost or 500 to 750 gram per 100 kg compost. After the spawning process is over, the compost is filled in polythene bags of 90 into 90 centimeter and kept in a clean area. The area must be cleaned with 2% formalin for sterilization. The temperature maintained in cropping room is 23 plus minus 20 degrees Celsius. The relative humidity should be around 90% and a higher than normal CO2 concentration would be beneficial. The fungal bodies grow out from the spawn and take about 2 weeks. Casing soil. Casing is a 3 to 4 centimeter thick layer of soil applied on top of spawn run compost. Requirements: soil 25%, coco peat 15%, sand 25%, FYM 50%, gypsum 2%, calcium carbonate 0.5%, and formalin 2% in 40 liter. Quality of casing materials: soft texture, lightweight, high water holding capacity, high porosity, neutral pH, which is 7.0 to 7.5. Application: the compost beds after complete spawn run should be covered with a layer of soil about 3 to 4 cm thick. The casing soil before application should be either pasteurized at 66 to 70 degrees Celsius for 7 to 8 hours, treated with formaldehyde 2% solution and bevistine 75 ppm or steam sterilized. The treatment needs to be done at least 15 days before the material is used for casing. After casing is done, the temperature of the room is again maintained at 23 to 28 degrees Celsius and relative humidity of 85 to 90% for another 8 to 10 days. Fruiting under favorable environmental conditions with temperature initially 23 plus minus 20 degrees Celsius for about a week and then 16 plus minus 20 degrees Celsius. Moisture 2-3 light sprays per day for moistening the casing layer. Humidity above 85%. Proper ventilation and CO2 concentration. Soon the mycelium will run on casing soil. The fruit body initials, which appear in the form of pinheads, start growing and gradually develop into button stage. Sprinkle of water must be done on daily basis. After casing, we get our first harvest in 30 to 34 days. Dear trainees, these are some pictures of button mushrooms cultivation. Post harvest tech in mushrooms. Why should we preserve mushrooms? They grow in flushes. Every 8 to 10 days, they are harvested in abundance. It may happen so that when there is a good production, the demand may be low and vice versa. Thus, to prevent such a glut in the market, it is necessary to preserve them. Mushrooms require a great deal of attention during storage, marketing, and processing at the post harvest stage. Post harvest tech includes harvesting, cleaning, grading, cooling, packing, transportation, and marketing. Harvesting. Mostly manual harvesting is done. Picking of a mushroom is similar to picking an apple from a tree. Cleaning, removing of unwanted straw. Cleaning improves the quality of mushrooms. Grading. Grading of mushrooms is important for marketing. For example, button mushrooms are graded into grade A, B, and C. Grading is done according to size, color, and shape. Pre-cooling. In this process, the produce is kept in a plastic bag and stored in a cooling unit. Packing. Packing is essential to protect the mushrooms during marketing. Mushrooms are generally packed in polythene bags. Marketing. Mushrooms are marketed as fresh, dried, and preserved. In India, major markets are in Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, and Chandigarh. Canning. It is the process of preserving mushroom pieces in brine, butter, oil, vinegar, etc. It involves six basic operations like cleaning, blanching, can filling, sterilization, cooling, and labeling. Canned mushrooms form major share of world trade. Drying. Drying is an age-old practice of preserving mushrooms at ambient temperature. With the advancement in technology, different kinds of dehydration processes have been developed. Example, sun drying, mechanical drying, air drying, microwave oven, etc. Among these, the microwave oven drying is the best method. Pickling. In this process, mushrooms are fried with species and allowed to cool. They are then filled in bottles. Diseases and pest management. Diseases. Green mold, also known as trichoderma. Management. Good sanitation practices ensure compost is properly pasteurized prior to use and sterilize any supplements. Mucor. Management. Proper weight management. Neurospora. Management. Sterilizing the media. Pests. Spider management, chalk powder. Worm management, extracts of Jatropha, neem spray, etc. Termite management, Lemongrass extracts at 5 ml per liter of water. Yield: oyster mushroom 500 to 700 kg from 1 ton of dry wheat or paddy straw in 45 to 60 days. White button mushrooms 400 to 500 kg from 1 ton of dry wheat or paddy straw in 80 to 100 days. Mushroom will appear in flushes. Harvesting is done at button stage. 1.8 to 2 kg of mushroom is harvested per bag, which is of 10 kg. Conclusion: mushroom cultivation has many facility requirements. There are no shortcuts to those requirements. If the requirements are not met, failure or at least poor production is assured. The facilities must provide the environment required for mushroom growth and must also provide the primary protection against insects, other pests, and disease. Without the environment and protection provided by the facilities, management cannot protect the crop or obtain good yields. Mushroom cultivation is very viable enterprise that can be taken up by the common people as the cost involved is minimal and the returns are maximum. Mushroom cultivation can be taken up as a part-time or full-time enterprise as not much effort is required for cultivating them. It can contribute in minimizing the unemployment problems faced by the state.